I'm here with Hemeeka Patel and Eri'Eal. And today's topic is the Berlin Wall.
At the end of World War II, the Allied powers conquered Germany into four zones, each occupied by either the United States, Great Britain, France, or the Soviet Union. The same was done with Germany's capital city, Berlin. As the relationship between the Soviet Union and the other three Allied powers quickly disintegrated, the cooperative atmosphere of the occupations of Germany turned competitive and aggressive. The now disintegrated relationship between the Soviet Union and the other three Allied powers quickly made it look like a battle between East versus West and democracy versus communism. This led into the Cold War. The Cold War brought in the Berlin Crisis. The Berlin Crisis was John F. Kennedy and Mayor Willy Brandt of West Berlin during the time, and they sat down and had a conversation about what they should do to keep communism out of the west side of Germany. They decided to build a wall, which they felt like would be a great idea in the long run, showed be a worse and economically terrible idea for Germany and the rest of the world.
President Kennedy, did you see that video that Nikita Khrushchev made?
Yes, what's the big deal?
Well, they're trying to ruin all the hard work we have made, so what do you say about that?
Well, I have a plan.
What's your plan?
My plan is to build a wall. Because if you're mad at me and I'm mad at you, and I build a wall, you can't see me and I can't see you, and all our problems are solved.
Wow, President, you are very smart. Thanks.
The rise of the Berlin Wall, the effects that it had while it was up, and the fall of the wall had large effects on Germany. The Berlin Wall rose on August 13, 1961 in the middle of Berlin, which effectively separated the city into the east and the west. The construction of the wall was expected by many people, but it made the separation of Germany a physical thing. The actual separation of the East and the West had been going on for a long time before then. An example of this is that the currency system had changed in both halves of Germany, making it harder for the people to work in or for the other side. Another reason as to why the wall went up was because the population of East Germany was quickly falling due to many of the young and healthy people moving to the West. Some of the people say that the wall helped serve world peace because it kept the neo-Hitlerites in the East and stopped them from spreading. So in a sense, the wall was good because it helped keep world peace and it made the rest of the world see what was really happening inside Germany, and it made them want to help out the citizens of the country. The Berlin Wall eventually fell on November 9, 1989. There are several reasons as to why the wall fell. One of them involves the American Pershing II missile. In 1978, NATO planned to plant nuclear missiles in Europe in response to the Soviet nuclear buildup. This caused a crack to form in the wall since the people knew they would not be able to withstand a nuclear missile. Another reason was all of the peace movements that were taking place in the German Democratic Republic, or the GDR. Many of these movements were held in the only safe place the people could find, the churches. At first, the government was okay with the movements since they were not doing much harm. However, once the movements began to build in their magnitude, the GDR determined they had outlived their welcome. The people involved found themselves being watched and even persecuted. After some more time, it was dangerous to go to even some of the church's prayer meetings because of the fear that the people who attended would lose their jobs or even worse, their lives. There was eventually a point where the peace movement stopped altogether, although their effects in the ways that the people thought did not stop. According to Andrew Curry, a writer of the Wilson Quarterly, the fall of the wall allowed joyful Germans to run into each other's arms as an entire system crumbled, lighting the night with relief and exhilaration, and the world celebrated the end of communism and the liberation of millions from decades of oppression. Many people were happy and relieved when the wall finally came tumbling down to the ground. Several of the people that were present when the wall fell even took pieces of it to symbolize that the time they had given them much hardship was all over. However, it was hard for the two sides to come back together after being separated for 28 years. It took a long time after the fall for the two sides to merge back together after being separated for so long, because their lifestyles had changed so much. Although several people viewed the wall as being good in a political sense, many of the citizens of East Berlin thought it was horrible. It prevented skilled workers from going with the flow of migration and leaving east for the west. The wall was also heavily fortified, booby-trapped, and guarded, and it was nearly 100 miles long. This caused for the people to become irritated as they developed a general feeling of unrest and some outrage. Many deaths were caused by people trying to escape the wall, which gave it the nickname of the death strip. If anybody was seen trying to escape, they would either be killed on spot or sentenced to long and harsh jail sentences. Approximately 200 people died trying to escape East Berlin. Some people say that the wall had a greater impact on the East than the West, and produced many great novels that were based on living in the time of the wall and after it fell. Others say that the wall was a symbol of tyranny. The views of the wall vary greatly from person to person, but the general feeling that it was either magnificent or atrocious.
So, what was life before the wall was built?
It was better than when the wall was up. There was still a lot of tension between us, but we had a lot more freedom.
Yeah, like we had options of what we wanted to do. We could go and just visit whoever we wanted. It was really quite nice.
Yeah. And how was it during the wall? How was life during when the wall was up?
Oh, it was horrendous. Food ration, like, there was no food. We only had one brand of everything.
We lost a lot of our freedom and the speech and everything.
I couldn't talk to any of my friends who lived in the West.
Communications were completely shut off.
Mm. And how was life after the wall fell down and you were reunified?
Things were a little tough at first. The West didn't really like us.
I guess that's the result of being separated for over 20 years.
Yeah, 28.
Our cultures completely changed the situations.
28 years will do that. But now where the wall was, it's being turned into beautiful parks, so that's nice. And we're starting to get along again, so.
And we have more freedom now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more.
A lot. Some brands.
So, how was life like before the wall went up?
It was actually really great. Like we got to see everyone. Everyone was happy.
Yeah, I would go over to the other half of Germany, and I would go visit my twin sister. She's cool, I guess.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah.
How was life like during the wall?
It was actually pretty fine. I mean, we didn't have to deal with that whole communism stuff.
It was still a party, except we had to hear like gunshots and people
In
crying.
the night. So that was a little scary sometimes, but
Party.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. We didn't have to deal with communism. I mean, towards like right before the wall fell down, we kind of started to outspend ourselves a little. Sorry. And we were about to get into like some major economic times.
Oh, that's true.
Like,
How was life like after the wall had fallen down?
Awkward.
it was really awkward because, I mean, we didn't really know the East German people anymore.
Like they were different. Like they didn't know how to chill. Like it's the 60s.
It's all groovy, man. It's all groovy. We fine. We fine.
Eri'Eal, I see you.
That's fine and all, but pass me that Beatles CD.
Okay.
Yes, finally! Yes!
Freedom!
Actually, we should have been
Looking for freedom!
Yes, we did it!
German reunification was a long and slow process, but it eventually happened. The reason why it was so hard is because the two sides had grown different over the 28 years that they were separated. East Germany had lived a very simplistic and bland way of life, while the West Germany had lived a very flashy life. But see, German reunification needed to happen. West Germany was outspending itself with goodwill measures and just overall having fun, and East Germany was starving. Without German reunification, the two sides would have both collapsed. East Germany would have lost all of its foundation, and West Germany would have gone into an economic recession and used up all of its money and would have become poor. The fall of the Berlin Wall meant the fall of communism. The reason why is because the Berlin Wall was the main symbol of communism at the time, and what most people knew whenever they thought of communism. The reason why it fell is because nobody wanted to return to the old communist ways of life once they saw the West Germans' easy, more fun way of life. Since there was nobody where the main power of communism was, all of communism crumbled. Once communism fell, a new wave of freedom swept over all of Europe. This is evident by the formation of the European Union, or EU. The European Union was the collaboration of multiple different European countries. With the formation of the European Union was a new wave of freedom and ideas. Germany and the rest of Europe became a time of peace, and where the wall used to be was now beautiful parks and beautiful sunsets.
Oh my god, it's been so long.
I know, the time really seems to have taken our faces, hasn't it?
You know, I made us all cookies, but they got old and I ate them.
That's nice, but at least we're all together.
Yay! Oh, hold on. Yay! Yay!
So that's the end of our show.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Go.
Start.
Oh my G, it's been so long. Oh. No. Scott.
Did you push a button? Okay.
Ah!
Yes! Victory! I got it to break.
Okay.
Okay, ready for serious this time.
For serious this time. Do you want to help the communists?
That doesn't work because I'm supposed to be the communist. What?
John F. Kennedy, did you see that video that Nikita Khrushchev made?
Yeah, what's the big deal?
They are trying to ruin all the hard work we have done.
Well, I have a plan.
What's your plan?
Well, you see, I have a plan to build a wall. Because if I build a wall and you're mad at me, I messed up.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
See you. Wait, no, you're supposed to.
I'm breaking the wall.